Good morning. Another weekend in the East by West farm. This morning the looks beautiful, and it's a little bit crowded. We actually get a few raindrops, so that's definitely what we needed. Today I'm going to try to expand the vegetable garden. Basically, I didn't have the tarp cover on the other side, but I want to add two more strips on the existing the garden, that area that I walked last week. Last week I put 3 strips of weed barrier to test out how different weed barrier works. Today I'm going to add 2 more strips on the grass. Remember, before that area I actually covered with a tarp for 3 or 4 weeks, and then put the weed barrier on. So today I'm just going to put the ground cross and the cardboard on the grass without covering it with tarp for 3 or 4 weeks, and then compare the area with the tarp covering and see if I see any differences. You can see this area we have pretty tall wheat or grasses. So what I'm going to do is use this machete to cut it down, and then I will cover it with the weed barrier. Okay, that was not too bad. It only took me a few minutes to just whack away the weeds and clean up that area. Now I'm just going to put down 1 strip of cardboard and then 1 strip of the landscape cloth. To that, then I will be done with the weed barriers. Okay, that was harder than I thought. The cardboard was not a problem, but the landscape cloth need to be pinned down. Use the pins, and we haven't had rain for the last 4 or 5 weeks, so the clay is really hard. It was very difficult to drive the pin down. Well, I got it done, so now I'm going to move some dirt. Man, that was hard work. The clay just like rock, and it was difficult to shovel with a shovel, and I end up with using my hand a lot, just throw it to the yard. And also, when we mapped out this area, it was under the shade of the barn, and that was about the beginning of August, and now we're at the end of September. The season has changed, even though the temperature didn't drop much. So the sun definitely has changed. Now that you can see, actually only half of the area that was under the shade now is under the shade of the barn. So so the sun is kind of up, and I'm walking under the sun, which is not fun. So I'm going to stop here. Today I'm going to basically get the hay that Chris cut last weekend. He didn't have time to collect them, so I will collect them and use the wood chips to wood chipper to chop them into smaller size, so that you don't have to, but I believe that if you chop it into small size, it probably will be composed easier. Look like over here, because it's hard to get wood chips and we have plenty of hay, so look like we will be more use the root stout method to use hay as mulch instead of wood chips. This is new to me. In the property in the city, in our vegetable garden, I had to use wood chips for mulching, and that worked pretty well. I have not used the hay before, so we'll see how that goes. But seems there's plenty of permaculture people using it, so I think that will work. The only concern is that there are lots of seeds in the hay, so we'll see how that kind of play a role in spring when the seeds start to sprouting, whether it becomes a problem or not. The sun is pretty high up, so the garden area is completely under the sun. So I have to stop here. Look like it's going to be another hot October, Texas. But Sunday. It's kind of crazy. I think today we're going to hit 96, and this is the beginning of October. So fortunately, forecast says Monday is going to have a 20-degree temperature drop, and we're supposed to get some rain. Forecast keep changing. It was thunderstorm, now maybe just 50% of rain. So I do hope we got it. I'm almost done with the garden area. It was lots of work to move the dirt and all that. I guess it would be much easier if we had compost, if we had waited until spring and get the compost, and but I want to get it started, and I guess that's the price I pay for not being patient, or the price I pay being impatient. So over here, the garden area right now is about 8 strips of 3 feet long for each strip. So I get 24 feet along the width direction, and I think the length direction is about 15 feet. So I have 4 strips that was covered by by tarp to kill off the grass. Among the 4 strips, one was covered by landscape cross, one was covered by cardboard, one was covered by wood chips, and one was covered by hay. And I put some soil down to weight it down, and then I expanded the garden area on both sides with cardboard and landscape cross. So of course I cannot plant directly on the landscape cross or cardboard because there will be no soil. So that's what I have been doing, is to move soil on the on those strips. And unfortunately we have this Houston black clay that is right now is so dry that they just look like bricks. So I'm not sure how much things can grow in there. So my plan was to mix the hay with the clays to increase water permeability. The idea originally was to use the chipper to cut down the hay so that they can mix with the soil better, and hopefully it will decompose better. So yesterday I spent about 3 hours chopping up hay. It worked out fine. I got, you can see, about 2 strips of chopped hay, but it was noisy and dusty, and I wonder if it's worth the effort. So what I decided to do again is do the experiment on the 2 strip or the 4 strip on the left and the right side of the top covered area. They basically should have identical condition. So one side I covered with the chop up hay, and the other side I just covered with hay that's not chopped up. They're pretty long. So we'll see how that goes and compare, and to see whether it's worth spending time and effort to chop up the hay, and see if I see any difference in terms of the plant's growth, or whether the soil is different between these 2 areas. So hopefully I will get some rain, and then this area will be ready for planting. I hope you like this content. If you do, please hit the thumb up button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. If you want to follow our journey with the East by West farms, please hit the subscribe button.